So without a doubt, the biggest new feature in Sierra is the addition of Siri to the Mac. So Siri's been around now for a while on the iPhone and iPad, but this is the first time it's available on the Mac. And I think it's going to actually be a lot more useful on the Mac because you tend to work on your own in front of your Mac. Whereas with an iPhone and iPad, you tend to be around other people a lot, especially with the iPhone. And it's hard to have a conversation or tell Siri something or even hear what Siri has to say in response if you're around other people or in a noisy environment. But in a Mac, we're in a quiet environment usually, so it's going to be a lot easier. And there's a lot you can do with Siri. But first, let's take a look at the preferences here so we can see exactly how to control Siri. So in System Preferences, you have the ability to enable Siri here. Choose your language. Choose a voice, and this depends upon which language you've chosen here. Whether or not Siri talks back to you or only gives you text back. And then if you have multiple microphones, which microphone will be used. And then the keyboard shortcut to wake Siri up. So in this case I'm using the default, which is hold Command space. I can also do Option space, or I can press the FN key to do it with the space bar. I can customize to do another set of keys. Now if I decide to turn this off, it doesn't mean I can't use Siri. I still have this icon up here, and that is how you can easily activate Siri with the mouse or trackpad. So you can of course get rid of it there too. So you can disable Siri, or you can just completely hide Siri and disable keyboard shortcuts if you want. Either way, you bring Siri up pretty easily using one of those shortcuts, or I'm just going to click here and then you can speak to Siri. Now needless to say, you need an internet connection for this to work because Siri's brain is really on Apple's server. So your audio gets sent to Apple, it gets interpreted, and then an action is sent back to your Mac. Even if the action is going to do something local on your machine, you still need that internet connection for Siri to work. So let's give it a try. I'm going to click here and ask Siri something standard. What's the weather going to be like today?
Here's the forecast for today.
Now it's interesting to note that this is a big difference between Siri on iOS and Siri on the Mac. You get this little window here. It's not interrupting anything else you're doing. So I can be in the Finder, I can be in Mail, I can be editing in Text Edit, and I can still be working over here, and I can leave this up. I can even move this window around. I can re-engage Siri hitting the microphone here as well as hitting the keyboard shortcuts or this. And I can even click the plus button here, and that will add that widget to the Today section of notifications. Now of course I already had weather there, but you get the idea. So we can ask Siri something else. What's on my schedule for this week?
You don't have any appointments on your calendar for this week.
Okay. If I did though, fair enough, I would be able to click and go into Calendar and all of that. So I've got some options here. If you want to know what else Siri can do, you've got this question mark button here at the bottom, and it gives you suggestions of things you can ask Siri, and you can see it's very app specific. So what you can do, for instance, in System Preferences, and I can go in here and see that I can ask for things like make the screen brighter, or go to Twitter settings. So let's try that. Let's try one of these. Change my desktop wallpaper.
You can change the desktop wallpaper in Preferences.
So I have to click there to go to it. Is Bluetooth on?
Yes, Bluetooth is on.
So I've got that, and in this case I even have a switch right here. I don't have to go to System Preferences. So functionality may vary. And you can ask Siri some of the stuff that people have been asking Siri on iOS for ages. So you can do math. What's 6 times 9?
The answer is 54.
What is 5 kilometers in miles?
That would be 3.11 miles.
So there's a ton of stuff you can do, and if you've been using Siri on iOS, you know a lot of the stuff. If not, just try some different things, or use this question mark button to maybe investigate some other things that Siri can do. And those are the basics.